Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Which is the Moon. I am your Monday hostess, Natalie, and this week's topic is herb and crystal combinations. So this is going to take us in a little bit different path than where we've gone in previous seasons, where we've talked about crystals, we've talked about herbs and some of our favorite ones, but this time we're talking about the combination of those two items together to empower your spellcraft. Today I have to give a thanks to my sister. She provided me with this lovely heart chakra candle. It does smell pretty good, and I've got that going here just because I've been struggling with some issues, personal issues of late, and some tough decisions that I'm facing, and so I was feeling a need to cleanse the heart chakra, which I also have my green stone here. I might put this into a bag and wear it today. Now, in terms of crystals and crystal combinations, in terms of how you want to use your crystals with your herbs is going to depend on what your intent is. Now, the tree and moss agates are very good for those of you that are wanting to grow your own herbs, because those two crystals are known for infusing the soil with the proper energies to grow plants well. So, what that's going to entail in terms of using an herb crystal combination is a good understanding of the nature of the crystals that you're working with, as well as the herbs you're working with, and what your personal intent is. Now, that's not to say that, a crystal that doesn't necessarily have the same energy as this particular herb can't be used together. Again, that's where your intent comes into play, because what it's going to depend on is what exactly are you trying to do. So, for example, one of my favorite crystals of all time is tiger's eye. I love tiger's eye. It was sacred to the ancient Egyptians. They often used it in their statues for the eye because they believed that tiger's eye gave the wearer or the bearer thereof sight, even beyond what can't physically be seen. It gave them insight to things, and it gave them a protection from the evil eye also. So, what I like about tiger's eye, I will combine tiger's eye with something like eyebright, because eyebright, if you've watched my herb cabinet series on my personal channel, then you may have seen the video I did on eyebright after I got this. Eyebright is an herb that is known to help with vision, not just psychic vision, but physical vision. It's believed to help the health of the eye, and so these two seem to me to pair naturally well together. So in spells where I am wanting insight to a situation, if I feel someone is being less than honest with me, I may combine these two in a sachet and wear it or carry it in my pocket or utilize it in some sort of spellcraft. So I will also pair tiger's eye with angelica. Now, some people may say, what in the hell do those two have to do together? Angelica is an herb. It comes from the root, and it is closely aligned with the archangels, hence the name Angelica, but it's one that's often used in protection spells. So again, I may combine it with eyebright. If you're going into a legal situation, or if you're walking into a negotiation or a situation where you feel that maybe the other person or parties aren't being completely honest or aren't being completely open even, or what have you, combining these herbs and this crystal can definitely give you the proper energies for getting a better fix on the situation, seeing things that are not out in the open, having that clear understanding. But angelica is also protective in nature. It's kind of an all-purpose herb for witches. We use it in a lot of different things, and protection spells, home protection spells, anything like that. And sometimes vision is protective. I mean, you see danger coming, right? So to me, it aligns perfectly. Yeah, but some people often wonder. Now, one of the things that I really like about tiger's eye that I want to mention is that tiger's eye is a crystal that combines earth and sun energies. Now, as witches, we tend to focus a lot on the moon. You know, we're closely aligned with the goddess. We value the goddess, but we need to remember balance. And the god is just as important as the goddess. Those masculine energies are just as important as the feminine divine energies as well. And so sometimes the sun illuminates things and allows us to see things in a different light, so to speak. You know, things look different at night than they do in the day. So, for example, if I'm doing a tarot reading for someone and I pull the moon card and it's close to like the Seven of Swords or something like that, I consider the Seven of Swords kind of a sneaky. To me, it speaks of a trickster, somebody that's doing something they probably shouldn't be doing or hiding something. So when you get that, or you draw the sun card with that, it could be, you know, I will recommend that they carry a piece of tiger's eye, or I'll make them a sachet with the eye bright, the angelica, and the tiger's eye to give them sight and insight into what's going on in the relationship or what's going on around them, so that they might see those things just a little more clearly. And I find that a very powerful combination. Another combination that I really, really like, I might save that one for last, is unakite. Unakite is a crystal that is full of just kind of positive, loving energies. A lot of people, I think, overlook unakite as a valuable stone. It looks very similar to bloodstone, so you know, you may have to look into it a little carefully. But unakite is a balancing crystal. It is known for balancing your emotional energies within your body. So I love, love, love to pair unakite with any kind of grounding or earth energies. I like to pair it with any spells or craft work that deals with healing emotional balance. And if you'll notice, unakite has pink and green. Well, this looks kind of orange, but it's kind of a pinky color green. So it combines the nurturing earth energy compassion that comes with the green with the healing, loving, and nurturing compassion that is love in the pink. Now, for those of you that may not be as familiar with the chakra system, a lot of people think that there's just like, what, 7 chakras, right? There's actually numerous chakras throughout the body. These are the main 7 that run the length of your neurological system. But a lot of people overlook the higher heart chakra. You have a heart chakra and you have a higher heart chakra. Unakite is a stone that aligns the two, because the heart chakra is green, the higher heart chakra is pink. So unakite aligns that. And so I will use it with herbs that align with love, harmony. I will pair it with lavender, which I was actually going to pair that with another herb in a minute. I mean, another crystal in a minute. But I will pair it with lavender. I will pair it with patchouli, because patchouli is very earthy. It's very masculine, which is kind of contrary to earthy if you think of Mother Earth. But it's very much aligned with the god, who is a god of the wildlife, of the earth, of balance. And especially for me, because I work with Cernunnos. Cernunnos is full of all of that nurturing, fatherly kind of love. You know, we think of nurturing as a woman's area. Fatherhood is very nurturing. You need that balance between the masculine and the feminine. And this, to me, combines it. So I think of the green as the masculine, the pink as the feminine, and the joining of the two, the bringing together of the 2 heart chakras, combining with herbs that bring peace and balance and love. So angelica, lavender, rose petals of all sorts, because friendship is its own kind of love, and I think it's one that we don't value enough. So yellow rose petals, pink rose petals, red rose petals, that kind of thing, I will definitely use it for that. Jasmine and other types of balancing love. Now, another crystal herb combination that I love to use is I just totally blanked. Lapis lazuli. That's my favorite crystal, and I totally blanked on what it was. Somebody walked in the door and it kind of distracted me. Lapis lazuli. This is another stone that was sacred to the ancient Egyptians. You can see the strands of gold running through the lapis with the deep, deep blue. I always associate this stone with water energies, but that's not necessarily the case. To me, it also has earth and air energies because this is like rays of sunshine shooting through the blue sky. Lapis lazuli is the stone that was used to create the blue in King Tut's mask, and it was also very important to the ancient Egyptians. However, it is a stone that just really resonates with me and always has. I'll never forget the first time I ever laid eyes on it, and it aligns with the throat chakra, which as a speech language pathologist is kind of important to me as well. So I will use this crystal in combination with herbs that open communication. So I will use it also with angelica. Like I said, angelica is kind of an open thing. I will use it with remembering words. So if I want to remember words that someone say to me, or communications that I have had, I will pair it with rosemary, because rosemary is known not only for its protective nature to protect me from saying something stupid, but also to help with remembrance and memory. Lapis lazuli I will also use with other herbs that are known to increase communication, or oils that are made from herbs that increase communication and that sort of thing. So I also use it for calming, which is why I pair it with lavender. I pair this with cornflower. I don't have cornflower with me today. I've got this my lovely little herb box that my sister gave me. I've been using this at home to store my herbs at home, because at my office I have a cabinet full of jars and bags and everything else, but I had herbs that I was keeping here at the house. I didn't have a place for them, so my sister gave me this lovely little book box. It says Witch's Guide, Potions and Poisons, which is funny because I'm a mandrake in here. But my husband actually thought this was a book. That's the funny part. He was like, can you move your book there? And I was like, look, you mean my box? But anyway, enough of the silliness. Totally forgot what I said. Cornflower. Yes, cornflower is bright, bright blue. Now, here in Texas, because I live in Texas, we have a flower called the blue bonnet. That's right, the blue bonnet. Blue bonnet is the state flower of Texas, and it is bright blue with a white tip. And to me, it aligns perfectly with lapis lazuli for bringing clarity. You know, I think when I think of blue, I think blue skies. I use it for healing. So any kind of healing herb, I will also use lapis lazuli with that, because I find it to be very clear. I associate the color blue with healing and renewal, because to me it comes out of the ocean. So, you know, any kind of water herbs, seaweed, things like that, I'll pair that with as well. Now, another crystal that I absolutely love is quartz crystal. I keep this piece of quartz on my desk at the recommendation of Benabel Wen, because she says keep a piece of quartz crystal on your desk where you work to help with clarity of thought and processing. So I do that. The nice thing about quartz crystal, because it does align with clarity and with clear vision thinking, it's also rather neutral in nature. So you can pair it with just about any herb that you want to use for just about any purpose to give it that extra boost. Now, how do you use these with your herbs? You can use them in tinctures. You can apply it to a tincture. You can use it in a sachet, as I've mentioned. You can just place it within the herb and let it charge. One of the things that I will state, that if you're going to use crystals in your water or your tinctures or oils and brews, oils not so much, because oils you typically just apply topically, but tinctures are often taken internally. Some crystals are actually toxic, like malachite, for example. The dust from malachite is known to be toxic. So please, and of course some herbs we all know are toxic, so please do some research before you utilize a crystal in a tincture. And that means that any stone that you do use should be polished and smooth, not flaking off or anything like that. So for example, this would be a better crystal to use than this, just because this has got some rough edges. Although it is polished, it has some areas where some of it may be flaking off. So this might be better used in a wand than in a tincture. However, that doesn't mean that you cannot use crystals for your tinctures if there's a specific energy you're looking to infuse your tincture with. So you use the herb in the tincture as you normally would, mixing it with the alcohol, but you can place the crystal near or on the bottle that you're putting your tincture into, and that can infuse that energy. Remember, a lot of witchcraft is your intention. It's your thought and the energy you're pushing into something. Push it in there. So you can use those crystals to push that energy into anything just by having it close to the tincture and keeping it there. So that being said, the last one that I want to talk about today is the use of mandrake root. I love mandrake root. I am in a mandrake growers group in Facebook, and I'm trying to get my hands on some seeds to grow my own mandrake. And my problem is I'm hesitant because I love plants, but I seem to, my house seems to be the place where plants come to die. Even mint. I got my rosemary to grow, and it's beautiful. Charlene, she's looking great. And Bethany, my holly tree, she has made a comeback. For those of you that know, I hired somebody to trim her away from the roof, and he totally butchered her. Cut her stem completely in half. Nearly all of her leaves were gone. I was like, having a heart attack. But she has grown back, and she's quite beautiful. She's not as tall, obviously, but she has grown her foliage back, and I'm very thankful for that because I was afraid he'd kill her. And in any case, mandrake is a root that I use a lot. It's used in fertility, believe it or not. I just made a fertility oil for somebody. But it's also used in flying ointments, which I make, and some of those things. So I make flying oils and roller balls that you can put on, and flying ointments that are the traditional ointments. And mandrake root is used for that. Now, I also associate mandrake with the underworld, and as such, I associate it with the goddess Morrigan. So, because I work with her, and because of its anthropomorphic kind of, it looks very human. When you pull it out, it looks like a person. So, I also associate it with the dead, which is another thing that associates it with the Morrigan for me. So, I will pair it with red jasper. This is my absolute favorite piece of red jasper that I own because immediately I felt Morriganic energies from it, and it's red with streaks of black in it. And it's heart-shaped, because to me, she's my heart. So I will pair these two. I will put this stone near my flying ointments because being a dark goddess, the goddess Morrigan is also known for being a goddess of witches and divination and night sight and that kind of thing. So I will pair these two. I will charge my mandrake root with the red jasper and use that together to create some strong energies when I'm going to be using the mandrake, particularly for any type of fertility work, because the goddess Morrigan, whom I associate with the red jasper, is a goddess of passion. So the color red associates with passion. She's a goddess of passion. She's also a goddess of sex and rebirth. So I associate that with that. So I will put those together, and that is another combination that I will use. Again, when you're combining your crystals with your herbs, the key is to understand the nature and the characteristics behind both the herb and the crystal and your intention. And don't be limited to just what you read on the internet or in some book about what a crystal means or what an herb does, because it really aligns a lot with your personal intent and what you are called to use. So again, I will say go with your intention, go with your instinct, and utilize the combinations that have some meaning to you, because that's going to be what charges and powers your work. So that's my spiel for this week. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, and blessed be.